turkey, dressing, gravy, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, pumpkin pie. Does this list of foods bring images to your mind of being thankful or family gatherings at Grandma's house? Thanksgiving, the great American holiday, has many traditions, both past and present. Valerie Strauss writes in the Washington Post, in 1789, George Washington declared Thursday, November 26th, a Thanksgiving holiday. However, it was only for 1 year, and it wasn't connected to the Pilgrim's Feast, but it was a public Thanksgiving and a prayer for good harvest. It was a President Abraham Lincoln that made Thanksgiving an official annual holiday in 1863. Lincoln set Thanksgiving Day as an official holiday to be celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November every year. Beginning in the mid-20th century, and perhaps even earlier, the President of the United States has pardoned 1 or 2 Thanksgiving turkeys each year, sparing the birds from slaughter and sending them to a farm for retirement. Last year, President Donald J. Trump kept up the U.S. presidential tradition by pardoning a turkey at the White House. President George H.W. Bush, in 1989, is often noted as the first president to pardon a White House turkey. However, Strauss goes on to explain that in 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, President Lincoln's 10-year-old son begged his father to pardon a turkey given to him that he had become very fond of and that he named Jack. That year, Lincoln did pardon Jack. Despite a presidential pardon, it's noted on History.com that turkey is synonymous with the holiday, and nearly 90% of Americans will eat the bird, roasted, fried, baked, on Thanksgiving, according to the National Turkey Federation. Other traditional foods includes the mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie. The holiday is often the busiest travel day of the year, as family members gather with one another. David Silverman writes in his article, Thanksgiving Day, from Britannica.com, that in the late 1800s, parades of costume revelers became common. Parades have also become an integral part of the holiday in cities and towns across the United States. The Philadelphia department store Gimbels had sponsored a parade in 1920 with Santa Claus at the rear of the procession. With the Macy's Parade, launched 4 years later, that soon became a Thanksgiving tradition and the standard kickoff for the holiday shopping season. The parade became even more well-known after it was featured prominently in the hit film Miracle on 34th Street in 1947, which shows actual footage from the 1946 parade, in addition to the famous giant balloons, floats, and the Macy's Parade features live music and other performances. For some scholars, the jury is still out on whether the first Thanksgiving was at Plymouth constitutes the first Thanksgiving in the United States. Indeed, historians have recorded other ceremonies of thanks among European settlers in North America that predate the Pilgrims' celebration. Although the American concept of Thanksgiving developed in the colonies of New England, its roots can be traced back to the other side of the Atlantic. Both the separatists who came over on the Mayflower and the Puritans who arrived soon after brought with them a tradition of days of fasting during difficult periods or pivotal moments, and days of feasting and celebration. The American Thanksgiving Day celebration now centers on cooking and sharing a bountiful meal with family and friends. Also, volunteering is now a common Thanksgiving Day activity, and communities often hold food drives and host free dinners for the less fortunate. Thanksgiving now falls into a category of festivals that encompass cultures, continents, and a millennia of gratitude.